Hola! I'm excited to share today's topic with you guys. I want to give anybody a minute to jump on before I dive into it, but we're going to talk about intentions, and that may or may not be something new to you, which is cool. I'm totally fine with that. That's why I'm here to help you break it down and understand as for what I've learned throughout my coaching experience over the past few years, and especially more recently in my coaching journey and life coaching. So, we're going to talk about what are your intentions. So, intentions, that's a term that is probably tossed around quite frequently, and most people don't really understand what it is. For example, if I were to ask you, okay, so in exercising, what are your intentions? Oh, I want to be able to run a 5K. Okay, that's a goal. It is not actually an intention. You see what I'm getting at? An intention is something that your actions are dictated by, that is more inherent into what your actual um, internal person wants to strive towards. It's not an exterior goal. It's something that internally you want to strive to become uh, whatever it is, because that's what your mental makeup is driving you towards. So let's let's dive into this a little more, and I'm going to speak to this from a physical realm because obviously I do training, but this physical training is a great way to understand yourself and to set these intentions. Most people that I come across who, contact me and they want to lose weight for whatever the reason, don't actually have an intention set behind it. Now, what I mean by that is if I ask, you know, why do you want to lose the weight? Most commonly, I'll hear, oh, I want to be a good example for my kids, which is great, but it's not really your why, because your kids are not going to be there while you're working out every single session. They're not going to be there while you're prepping your food, most likely every single session. They may get glimpses of it here and there. If you're somebody who gets up at 5 in the morning to go work out, they're not going to be there and see it. So, if anything, you're not being the example that you seek to be. You're just doing it for you. Now, there's a deeper rooted why as to why you want to accomplish, whatever the goal is. And you're just not digging far enough to get there. So, as we set our intentions, we want to really ask ourselves, why do we want to do this? Now, that's something you want to stew on for a bit. You really want to understand yourself and ask yourself, why is this important to me? And if you can't answer that, then I can promise you, you will fail each and every time when it comes to reaching a goal. And the reason is, as the days get long or harder, or one morning you don't want to wake up to get your workout in, or things get hard because life happens around us, regardless of what we plan for. As these things happen, your commitment will waver and it will falter. And if you're somebody who isn't used to being intentional in any area of your life, when it falters, it can have a snowball effect where you feel as though I messed up once, I messed up always, I'm off the horse and I can't get back on, which is not true. Okay. That's just a lie that the enemy likes to feed us to make us feel as though we cannot accomplish something when we do falter, which God promises us that we will. Not every single day that I get up at 3:30 a.m. am I hitting it hard and getting in my quiet time, getting in my workouts, getting in my to-do list early in the morning before I train people at 5 or 6 a.m. Sometimes I lack, sometimes I miss. I'm human just like anyone else. But what are my intentions? Well, in getting up that early in the morning, my intention is to strive to become a version of myself that I have not already accomplished. And the reason I want to do that is because there's a few reasons actually. I have a cousin who had a traumatic car accident. He has now a traumatic brain injury, whom I feel as though, um, he was a hero for me growing up. And I feel as though I have to live a life that validates two people. I have to live a life for myself and a life for him because he can't live life to the extent that I can. Now he's alive, but he is severely um, handicapped due to the accident. So that's a reason that drives my intentions. You understand? And the other reason is that I've always been in a pursuit of wanting to accomplish things because I've never felt validated enough through what I have done. Now, that may sound crazy. It may resonate to some of you guys. I think it's something that we all struggle with from time to time. Uh, and it's something that we may inherit from childhood. But those are reasons that drive why I pursue and I go as hard as I do. And it helps me actually with knowing those things, set my intentions on, okay, knowing that this is an emotional trigger for me and this is an emotional trigger for me, how can I use these to set my intentions on success for the day or success in this area? Those things came with being honest with myself and they came with time. I can't say that, when you look into what your whys are, that you're going to discover them immediately because you won't. It takes actual work and digging and really spending that time alone with yourself. And it takes actually being willing to be curious about yourself and what your potential is. You know, um, as I've been an athlete most of my life, I've always experimented with myself, my physical fitness, and tried to find ways that I can push myself and see what my potential is in anything I do. And in doing that, I've discovered the things that push me beyond what the normal person would do. And it's not that I'm doing a crazy amount of weight of any sort, or I'm having the ungodly endurance over anyone. It's just the consistency of just getting after it day after day for years at a time. That's all it's been. You may be able to lift the same amount of weight I do, but at 365 days in a year, are you going to lift majority of those days? Maybe not. Compounded by 10 years. And that's where the success has come from. Now, in working out, it allows us to actually look at ourselves from an outside perspective because we disassociate ourselves from our problems. We are just strictly focused in on the set, the workout, how much this sucks, the burn that I'm feeling in my arms and my legs. And it allows us to get outside of our own mind. And when we do that, it actually allows us to look at things from a different vantage point. We can start to look within and start to really ask those questions and discover these things about ourselves. So the keys are always going to be curious about yourself and what pushes you, and to, be honest with yourself is the second key. And then while you're in the muck, or I think David Goggins has some terms for it. While you're in the suck, um, to really look inside yourself and see, why do you push yourself? What is the reason you're doing this? Training is a scaffolding, really, for these things. It's a placeholder. It just allows you to feel physically, so that you can start to think. Because if you actually can't be fully present, which training does, it makes you fully present. Or if you take a ice cold shower, it makes you fully present because you're freezing in there. If you're not fully present physically, there's no way you're going to be able to find these answers within your own mind. So this is a great tool to use to be able to discover what's really inside of you. So before every training session, what I would say is take a few minutes and set your intentions. Okay, what are my intentions as I'm getting into this workout? What am I trying to accomplish here? Why am I trying to accomplish this? And do that with everything. Ask yourself, why am I pushing so hard at work? Why am I doing this? And once you understand that, it frees you. You may not hit the ball out the park every single day, every single time. And that's why after you've done, your training bout or your work, now you take a few minutes afterwards and you deload and you say, okay, what happened? Why didn't I push so hard? Why did this go wrong? Why did I not maximize my time and my potential? Ask those questions. They lead to learning and learning about yourself. And in doing that, it prepares you for the next day and the next day and the next day, where you do hit the mark on those things, where you may hit 3 out of 4 things that you set out to do, or you may hit 4 out of 4 things that you set out to do. And then those 3 to 4 things you accomplish compound day after week after week after month after year after decade. So that's my encouragement, is to set those intentions before you do things, like early in the morning, and then afterward, when you're decompressing. Why did this happen? Don't let it sit in here. Don't let it linger, because then it will extend itself for hours and hours at a time. All you need to do is think about it for a few short minutes. I wanted to share with you guys, and I got off to different tangents as I was going through this, but I wanted to share with you guys some scriptures that help lean into this. So Proverbs 2, verse 6 through 8 reads, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He holds success in store for the upright. He is a shield to those whose walk is blameless. For he guards the course of the just and protects the way of the faithful ones." See, God is the one that in these moments where we struggle to, let me X that out. God is the one that in these moments where, we don't understand our own minds, is the one that gives us wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And, through physical fitness, through mindset work, through breathing exercises, through attaching ourselves and being fully present physically, we're able to get outside of ourselves, outside of here, and really understand what God wants to speak into our lives. So that's Proverbs 2, verse 6 through 8. Also, I wanted to bring to your attention 2 Chronicles 15, verse 7. And it says, "But as for you, be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded." That's a promise from God. He says, be strong, do not give up. and you'll be rewarded for the work. Now, this is work, but the rewards far outweigh whatever the energy level you have to put into it or whatever suck you have to go through. Because this is life, guys. This is an experience. Life is about experiential learning. And if we're not experientially learning and we're just waiting for life to happen around us, then there is no reward in that. Finally, I want to share with you guys as soon as that thing moves out of my way. Ephesians 5, verse 15 through 17. And it says, be very careful then how you live, not as the unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. So I want that to resonate with you. Take in every single opportunity, and every breath, every day that we have on this earth is an opportunity. And God promises that when we take in every breath, that when we do actually the work, that we are rewarded for it. He gives us knowledge, he gives us understanding, he gives us the opportunity to become the very best versions of ourselves that we can be, and thereby honoring him, who is our creator. So guys, I hope this made sense. I hope this serves you. Remember, take a few minutes before you do things. Take that time to be intentional, understand what your intentions are. Take a few minutes afterwards to deload and get after it. This is Chris with Iron Sharpens Iron, reminding you guys, get out there, make moves, not excuses. God bless, guys.